Morning, folks. Just your average snow trap situation. Way to winter's finest blanketed me good last night. But hey, a Yeti's got a rise. Let me dig out.
Okay, so note to self, hot cocoa is tricky when your kitchen is made of ice.
Okay, starting mountain chef life is harder than I thought, and why want this silly firelight?
These mind-blowing clips are generated by Google's new Veo3 model and is now possible to integrate the model inside n8n. Put it on autopilot onto your socials. Look at this guy here, 248,000 subscribers.
This is my first vlog on this channel. I just want to introduce myself.
This guy started a week ago when Veo3 was released and he already had 248,000 followers. What if you could generate entire libraries of videos like this on autopilot? This is made possible by Google's newest Veo3 models, the most powerful video model out there right now. We are going to use a popular automation tool called n8n. This has exploded in popularity very recently in the last 3 or 4 months, simply because it is customizable, similar to platforms like Zapier or Make. Due to its AI agent-first design, it has exploded in popularity. It's based on LangChain, a popular agentic framework out there. They have recently secured $55 million in a new round of funding and has about 105K stars on GitHub. It's open source as well. So anyone can install this on their local computer and start automating their life. And the second tool that we are going to use is Fal AI. Fal is a GPU provider. They host different models on there. They just released Veo3 onto their API. We are going to use their APIs from n8n. You don't need to know all the technical details. You just have to download this template and use it. The template will be available in the description. They have different models here. They use Kling, which is another popular video models out there. Veo3 is the best model right now because it generates sound as well along with the video. In other models, you have to separately generate the video and the audio and combine it later. Check this out. I'm going to run this workflow right now so you can see what happens. And for the actual generation itself, I have this pin note here because I don't want to resubmit the request. Execute workflow. So first of all, it goes through an ideas AI agent, which creates your video concept. And then it is passed to a prompts AI agent, which creates a prompt for the video. And then it submits the request to Fal, which is our GPU provider. And then it waits until the request is finished, and then it goes to check the status. And when the video is done, you get a URL like this, and then you go to that URL and view the video. So that's the concept behind it.
Okay, starting mountain chef life is harder than I thought.
So this is for vertical video format, so you'll have to rotate it. Accounts using the exact same prompts and methods are getting tons of followers. Look at this guy here, Yeti Vlogs. 130K followers just with 23 videos, and that too in the last 2 weeks he has already 130K followers. Now you see the potential. Let me dive into what these each components are. Again, this is a foundational flow. You get one video out of this, and then you have to obviously stitch it together. The link to the free template will be in the description. Check it out so you can try it on your own while you follow along this video. But if you want to hook it up to a social media automation, I teach digital marketing automation, SEO, lead generation, and video generation in my school community. I have different automations here: faceless video automation, YouTube long form content automation, tiny worker, and POV history video templates, different video formats. If you are into that, check it out. Let's get into the workflow. It may look complex, but don't worry, it's pretty simple. So essentially, we have 3 layers to it. The first one is the ideas agent, which obviously creates ideas for you. And then it creates prompts for the videos to be generated. And the third portion is actually submitting the request to the GPU, Fal AI, and getting the output. That's pretty much it. Let's have a look at our ideas engine. This is our creative director. In that, I'm simply saying generate a creative video idea for a Yeti vlogger character. The video should be something that would go viral on social media platforms like TikTok. Make it funny, relatable, and visually engaging. And then we are giving a seed idea. Yeti is showing what he cooks in a day. Start with the cooking scene. It gives you an idea. A humorous and engaging video title, What a Yeti Cooks in a Day. It's cozy mountain cave kitchen, where then you have the whole storyline for it. And we pass that item to a prompts AI agent. This ideas AI agent is an AI agent in n8n. You have under AI, you can see an AI agent here. That is that one over there. And the prompt goes into the prompt user message. And then you have the OpenAI chat model. I have selected GPT 4.1 mini. And then you have a think tool under tools, which is for adding a little bit of reasoning to non-reasoning models. So you can actually see the think through steps. It adds a sort of chain of thought reasoning to the AI agent. And also we have an output idea parser, which says, give me the output in this JSON format. You don't need to understand the technical details of it, but it is a way of representing data, which is easy to parse by an agent. And then we pass on that data. And in that, you get the idea, caption, and environment. So we are using the environment as a way to make, when you're creating multiple videos and try to stitch it together, we're using it to make consistent characters. There is also a way to provide a first frame image so that it follows the storyline from the last scene. So once the idea is generated, it is then sent to a prompts AI agent, which is responsible for creating the detailed Veo3 prompt, which is then sent to this HTTP node here for submitting the request to FAL, our GPU provider. Let's have a look at the prompts AI agent. This is again a AI agent here. It attached to the OpenAI chat model and also a think tool, which again adds reasoning capability to the agent. The main thing here is the prompt, create a detailed Veo3. Obviously, it won't know what Veo3 is yet. This was ChatGPT generated, but it works nonetheless. You're giving an idea, which was expanded by our ideas agent. The seed idea was expanded by the ideas agent, and also the environment setting, so that when you run this multiple times, you get the scene consistent. I do have an example prompt here, which I simply copied from FAL documentation and added my own flair to it. Obviously, when I simply copied it from FAL documentation and tested it out, it wasn't giving me the results I wanted. If you go to FAL's API, FAL AI Veo3 API, that URL over there, you have the API section. It has some documentation on how to structure these prompts. They do also have a prompting guide for Veo models. This is written for Veo2, but obviously it works for Veo3 as well, because it works the same way. Veo3, what it adds is a better video generation. It generates the sounds and the dialogue, etc., along with the video. So you don't have to create two separate videos and audio, something like using 11 labs and combine at the end of it. You can go through the examples here. That's how you basically structure the prompts. If you go to examples here, you can see different videos generated by different prompts. What I did was I found this vlogging style video. I took that prompt. If you click on playground, that will get imported here. You can just copy it. But when I was testing it, it didn't give me the results I wanted. Obviously, I wanted to test it out, but it's actually very expensive. For an 8-second video, you are spending about $6. So unless you're a ad agency or something like that, unless you have some cash, you won't be able to actually use it on a scale. But it does create some great videos. For 5 seconds of video, it will cost $3.75. But you can't generate for that $3.75 because the default setting, allowed setting, is 8 seconds per video. It will always generate the 8 seconds. So there is a workaround if you want to test it out, because you can test out the prompt on Veo2. That is one option, which is much cheaper. And also you can sign up for a service from Google called Flow, which is the service here. This is an AI filmmaking tool by Google Labs, and that is the URL over there. And if you come down here, you can subscribe for Google AI Pro subscription, and which includes Veo3, text to video, and all the camera control, frames to video also. It gives you access to a few more other products called Whisk, and also you get to Pro subscription for Gemini 2.5, the latest models, including the ones that was released just yesterday, the 2.5 new preview version of the model. Unfortunately, this is only available in 70 countries. If you are in one of those unlucky countries, use a VPN where it is not available. So once you sign up for this, you can go to its interface and copy paste that prompt there and test it out. Or make sure that you set that to Veo3 here. If you want to test it out, there you have Veo3 Fast, and that takes about 20 credits. And you have, this wasn't available yesterday. And then you have Veo3 Quality, and that uses 100 credits. So make sure you test it on Veo3 Fast generation and then move it to Veo3 High Quality. That way you're not spending too much. And set it to one output by default. It generates 2 different outputs. And you can see that I was playing around with this yesterday here.
Hey guys, we are catching fish. Looks like.
So it generates some random text on the screen, which is not what I wanted, which is why I added. In the prompt, I'm saying here, subtitles off. I have this instruction here. You must always include in the prompt something like slightly amused expression as he whispers, or as he screams, as he shouts. Right before you write, he says. Here's the prompt here. Slightly amused expression as he whispers. he says. And then that goes as the dialogue. This works better, but if I don't give the slightly amused expression as he whispers, if I don't have that in the prompt, then it sometimes doesn't add the audio. For example, here, when I was testing it out, and I had this.
Warning.
This doesn't have any lip sync or anything like that. It just put the text in the video right there. Then I got it right.
Folks, just your average snow situation. Finest blanketed. But hey, a Yeti's rise. Let me dig out.
So that is what these instructions here are after a bit of testing, adding these 2 bits over here. Subtitles off and these few important rules. These seem to be working consistently. So the prompt is something like this, the previous node that outputs this prompt. A cinematic handheld selfie style. The prompt always starts with that. Subtitles off, and we have he says. So I've just finished creating the video with that prompt over here. As you can see, the vertical format is not actually respected all the time. So you get this video here.
Cooking at minus 20 degrees isn't your grandma's kitchen, but hey, I've got snow ovens and frozen lake grills. Let's make some mountain magic.
So that's not too bad. Once you have the prompt right, you can proceed to the next node here. I'm not going to submit it again, but I will show you the submitted video that I've run yesterday. So this next one here is an HTTP node, which just means that it makes a request, an external service. In that, we are providing the exact prompt. So you'll have to create an API key for FAL to use their services. You can simply go to FAL.ai and sign up, get started. And after that, if you go to click account, then you'll have API keys here. And then you just simply create an API key here. That's how you get FAL's API key. Once that is done, in the HTTP node, you'll have to add this enable send headers. This key is totally exposed here. If you don't want to do that, you can create a safer way to hide the key. Just create a generic credential type and create a header auth. But for demonstration purposes, this is how it will look like: authorization, and then you have a key. This is where you have to replace your key with. There is the text key always present, and then the actual key. Then enable that, body content type JSON, specify body, and you send the body parameters prompt, and then you simply drag and drop that there. That's how you get that, how you send that in an HTTP request. Once you execute that, you'll send the request to FAL. You also have an aspect ratio attribute here, but currently it only supports 16:9. Even if you give 9:16, it won't produce 9:16. Specifying the vertical format sometimes works, but it's not reliable. It's probably better to do the landscape version and then adjust in a editing software for now until they support it. And now you have the output coming from that. Get a response URL, status URL, cancel URL, etc. Once you submit the request, the status will be in queue, and you'll get a status URL as well. Use a wait node to wait 10 seconds. This goes in a loop. It takes about 6 to 10 minutes to generate a video. You check the status using another HTTP node, give the same authorization, credentials, parameters as here, but I'm using the status URL given by that node over there. And once you hit that with the authorization parameters, you'll get status completed. And I'm checking if it is completed. For every 10 seconds, I'm checking, is it finished? And that is an if node here. And if the output, if the status is completed, then you have a true branch, then you proceed to get the video. Otherwise, you go back to the wait node and wait for 10 more seconds, and you repeat the process until it is complete. Once it is finished, you'll get the video URL, and then you simply copy that, paste it into your browser.
Okay, starting Mountain
video
Chef.
over there, but I have rotated it. It's as simple as that. Hopefully you learned how to do this in an n8n automation. This free template is available in the description below. You can download it here. But if you want to learn more and further beyond this, how to actually hook it up into a social media automation, which will distribute to different platforms, I have different templates there in my school community. In here, I have a whole lot of different automations for long form article writer, video automation agents, reel repurposing, tiny worker video templates, different video templates, and also social media agents. This one post to X threads, stuff like that. AI is still very new, and if you want to stay ahead, feel free to check out this community here. I'm adding more and more courses here. I'll see you in the next video.